take a look at the layers, a couple of parts that just have the graphics. The pen and ink for the fine point and permanent marker is relatively easy, but for the Sharpie, rather than try to outline it, just take the pen tool again and go over the center part of the image. So right in here I just have the stroke and just kind of anticipate the center of this graphic, and I have the stroke set to 4 points, and you can adjust it, and it also has the rounded edge to this part, so just hold the command key. So when you take a look at the stroke panel right here, it has this rounded edge, so when this is selected you'll see it has the round edge, a square edge, kind of goes right up to the end cap, so just keeping that round, and if 4 is too big, just reduce it down to 3. And then while you have that selected, it'll adjust it right away from you. So I have the pen tool highlighted, so I can just kind of start the part for the H, stretch it down, hold the command key and deselect it, so I can just continue to do the script logo, and I can always adjust it when I'm finished. So here, like the letter A, going half the distance around this point, and here if I want to I can click a corner point and just continue, just like as if you're writing with a script piece. Here's where I'd click it off of to get the R, and just coming all the way down and using the best way. So here I stop on the latter part of the R, and then just click, kind of dragging partially the distance, going half the distance here, and doing the same thing. So here I have this selected for the I here. It works right in. So I'm going half the distance for the curve, and that's a registration mark, so I'll leave that there. Kind of give myself the eye. So once I have that, I can adjust this. I can use the width tool. If you remember, there's the tool right here for the width of this. When I drag this out, I can actually increase or decrease some of this part, go to the end point if I need to, and I can adjust these sections, whether it's the entire part or just kind of the in section of it, and it'll build it up that way, so I can increase or decrease that part, kind of adjust the logo. So just try that out. It's the stroke. If you go too thin, it'll make it too narrow. And there you have it for the Sharpie. And then all you have to do to change it, highlight the whole piece, just select the stroke and turn it to black, and you have the graphic there for it. So just the bottom part, this permanent marker, just take a look at your layers, make sure you're on the layer that you have. It's just a Helvetica text. When you take a look at it, registration mark and the fine point section is pretty easily done. So just take the text tool, click out the type marker, and just highlight that piece. So I have the text panel open under Window, Type, and Character. You have this section here that you can adjust anything in here. So just highlighting this, changing this to Helvetica, and just take it bold section there, and here you can just reduce it from in this window, adjust it here, and again you can shift key to make that a little bit larger. And the spacing for this, you can either increase the point size this way, and you can actually just copy and cut this part across, or just go ahead and take the text icon and use the space bar to place that into it, and then you have that section. Not too hard to do. And remember, you have the horizontal scaling here for that section as well. For the registration, I'm just going to Option and duplicate it. Take the text tool, you can highlight all of this and just type in capital fine point right there, and just lay that right to the side. and just extend this, kind of taking a look at just the word fine to see if you can get that set up there. And adjust that part. And then for the leading, just decrease that section right there. And again, you can extend the point height of this as well as also the kerning to place that into it. And then the last part is just for the registration, just hitting Option R makes that font right there. And so now you have that major part of the logo kind of done except for this part. A link on your page that takes you to this site, which is the Art of Creative Materials Institute. Kind of gives a certification for most art supplies. So when you take a look at the file that you have, it's tricky to see what this is. But when you take a look at it, this is the actual section, at least for the logo. Just going to set it down here for it. And up at the top, to create this, you're just going to use a number of circular pieces of text on the circle path to help you with that. So just by taking the elliptical tool and the shift key to get a circle started, this could be the outside circle there. Just swap the fill and stroke. Again, start in the center, just hold the Option key for this section, and you can actually line up with the smart guides. So that'll be the inside piece, kind of the inside selection. And then the part that actually has the type, again, hold the Option and shift key that out to the outside. Once it's to the outside, the text tool has the type on a path, and when you click on it and highlight it, it shows up on there. And for starters, just going to go ahead and type out art and creative materials certified. So once it's highlighted, you can see it's wrapping itself around. Just select all of it, and then the point size, just kind of reducing this down to a minimal amount of points here. So you can kind of see how it's coming across. Taking off the bold from Helvetica, you can kind of see that section to it. And you can even decrease this a little bit more. And then once you have the selection tool, you can kind of see this part. Take a look at the text itself and center it. So now this center piece works when you drag it over the circle. You can kind of rotate it down and it'll line up when it becomes centered. So you can kind of see this part of it. So all you're going to do is just kind of rotate this around again. So you can kind of grab that section. That's tricky because the line that's on here, you have to kind of keep aware of what's happening right here. And it places the Art Institute right there. And then as far as the text goes for the top piece, in this section, take the text tool and go ahead and click on this part. And this part I'm just going to copy with the arrow tool. Take the text on path and click on this. ACI, just highlight it, highlight the text. Come in here, just click on times, make it bold, and so you have that section just kind of make it a little bit larger. And take the rotation tool. It's still centered tight, so I'm just going to rotate this around and see if I can. You have to drag it across the line itself. See if you can get it over there. And that's on the inside of it. So you're just kind of wrapping it as it goes around this part. So you kind of have that section. So there it is. So you kind of drag it across and then take the mouse and drag it right over top of this. You can see that the center line that I put down there is going to be offset. So in the character panel, in this section, go down to this piece and just, you can reduce it down a little bit So when you take the text tool, you can highlight that text, do the baseline shift, and just minimize a little bit, add a little bit to the kerning to spread out the type a little, so you can kind of get a little more space into it. And this gives you that section to it. And I already took the circle and pasted on here. Here's the stroke. Just going to make it a little bit smaller, not that large, like a 1/2 point for the outside edge. Go to Edit Paste, because that's where I took the circle from. So you can line that back up there. It's intersecting there. And do the same thing with this one. Just make it a little bit smaller. Angle there. And here you can actually cut this part to place it in there. So that's going to be the section in here that we can click on this and take in the eraser tool. You have scissors and a knife, so when you take this part across, you can actually cut that line segment and click on it separately and delete it. And you should be able to pull that together, and then just take the text tool, type in AP, and again, you're making this pretty large, so just place it right in there. Focus on just one letter, the A, and then just take the text tool and the space in between Option and the arrow key. It's going to bring this across and have it aligned left so it fits right into it. And you'll see it fit right into that piece. So that's kind of the logo. Just draw a box around it, group it together. And then down below here, where it just has the text, it just has conforms, D. This is just the code that they use for quantifying the pieces. So this part you can just highlight, turn to Helvetica, take the leading to auto, and decrease that part, so you can kind of constrain this right away to fit that part. Make this bold, put the lettering to 0, decrease the leading a little bit, and center the type. Just place it right in there. Same thing, you can select, since this is grouped together, you can select it and just use the line to place that up there. Group that together. And then for the TM, just come on out to the side and type in a TM for trademark. Place that right there. And there you have it. So now you have the entire logo illustrated onto that part. So here I can take this, cut it, and here's the layer that I just want to place it on. I had it on a separate layer, just go to paste in place, it puts it exactly where it was. So now you have that entire section. Just group it together, make a copy of it so that if I make this into a pattern or a symbol, it's all together. So now this is a symbol right here. So just go ahead and locate the actual marker section right here. Select this, go to the Appearance panel, click on the 3D mapping, click Preview so you can see it. Here's the mapping, and just toggle yourself through to these pages right here. And just go to Edit, New Symbol 4, and you can see it. Just want to rotate it and place it on there. And there you go.